Hello everyone, and welcome to the second installment of the Brain Research Lab. I'm your host Cole Ayers, and today's episode, are you tired of dealing with trap cards? Are you tired of thinking at all? Don't. With this deck, let's just play into every trap card and hopefully win. Let's go ahead and get to the deck profile. So, you have before you my Frankenstein abomination. We have Rhynos, Geartown, Hero, Thunder Dragon pile. Let's get started with some of the Geartown monsters. We have just one Geartown Beast. It's really good for taking out Rykos. Also could get the benefit of permanently negating something like a Value or a Treeborn Frog. It's really nice. 2000 stat lines, pretty solid. One Engineer. Kind of an insane card if you read it. The only thing that would make it crazy if it had like a really good attack and defense stat line. But with cards like Chalice to kind of boost our guys, because if you notice, we can't use any trap cards to do it like Skill Successor, because Engineer will negate it and Wild Heart will negate it. So this is kind of a placeholder for that spot. Then we have the one Gadgetron Dragon. He's big. That's kind of it for him. For the hero package, we have one Stratos, of course, one Gold. We're playing a Gears on engine, so we can kind of just search our Skyscraper with Gold, and that can come with our Geartown. Also, it's really nice with our Wild Heart. Speaking of Wild Heart, 2 Wild Heart. We don't like playing against traps, so kind of going with the theme here. We just kind of want to stick a guy and have him stay on the field and have removal for our opponent's cards. 3 Thunder Dragon. This kind of adds a bit of consistency to the deck. It slims it down and gives us a discard outlet for something like Karma Cut, which this deck needs. In a format with the multiple dupe frogs, you just kind of can't let your opponent do that. Then we have 2 Wing Rhynos. I was playing 3, but 3 felt a bit too much for me. I feel like I have a lot of deck thinning with all the terraformings, some Yadas, Geartowns getting things out of the deck, and the Stratos, the Gold, Rhoda. And 2 Rhynos has been fine for me. Onto the field spells, we have 3 Geartown and 1 Garden, 1 Skyscraper. Skyscraper for our Gold to search, also works well with our heroes. Garden was originally Gaia power, but I just didn't want to give my opponent any sort of additional benefits, so Rhynos is really good under Garden. You can still bounce him, you can attack over the tokens, and you know, if you have a Rhynos where your opponent can't summon a monster bigger than him because of Garden, you can just kind of run through stuff. Same with Wild Heart, same with Engineer, anything for your monsters really. On Brain Control, we are playing some tribute monsters, even Thunder Dragon possibly. And Brain Control is crazy. 2 Chalice, like I mentioned earlier, it's also a damage modifier, so we can increase the attack of something like Wild Heart or Engineer to battle trick our opponent. Also, it's really good for taking out Rykos, and it's actually just a really nice card in this deck overall. I found. Shout out to my teammate Enraged Peacock. He recommended this a while back, and I've been really enjoying it in this deck. 3 Geartown with the field spell as mentioned. We have 1 heavy. We're playing Geartown, so we can proc our Geartown with this, and also it's Heavy Storm just clears the back row. Same with Typhoon for both instances. 1 Rhoda to search our hero package. I was originally playing 1 E-Call as well, but I don't think we have quite enough heroes to be running Rhoda and E-Call. It can get a bit cloggy. You can draw too much. 2 Smashing Grounds. Like I said, we just want to get rid of our opponent's monsters and just turn off her brain and summon a Wild Heart and attack. 3 Terraforming. Consistency for our Geartown package. Onto the traps. We have 2 Bottomless. Pretty staple. Same with 2 Deep Prison. Excuse me. We are on the 3 Karma Cut. This is, like I mentioned before, just getting rid of things like Dupe Frogs. You can get rid of both Treeborn Frogs. Get rid of Value monster, like the Value Synchros, so they can't ladder in. It's really good. Double Legacy of Yada. Combo so with our Wing Rhynos in case we need to get them off the field in a pinch. Also just a great set, you know, unlike Starlight Road, they can kind of get out of heavy without being dead, and it can thin your deck a little bit. And we have, of course, Mirror Force, Torrential, Dust Shoot, staple traps for the most part. Torrential's really good because Wild Heart and Rhynos can play around it. That is it for our main deck. And for our side deck, we have 2 Consecrated Lights. We're not playing any dark monsters, in the main deck at least. And Consecrated just kind of solo some decks. It can solo Blackwing, as long as they don't have Icarus. We aren't playing Decree, so we do have 2 Cyber Dragons for the Machina matchup. And if you go get something like Hero Beat or going second to Blackwing's not bad as well. We have 1 Crow. This is the hit combo decks. Speaking combo decks, we also have 2 Fossil Dino to kind of slow them down as well. And then we have 1 Zombie World for the spell on our side. We are playing 3 Terraforming, so this can just shut down the Gigavize deck. Also good against any Monarch strategy. And if we have machines out and we have Zombie World, they can't Chimera attack us, so that's very nice. 1 Dust Tornado. I feel like we're already kind of playing a deck that does or plays well into traps, and we do have some back row removal as well in the main deck, so felt 1 Dust to the side was okay. 2 Light Mirror, we're not playing any lights. I like playing Ignorant side deck Floodgates. This was really good against light decks. 1 Massacre Strict. I'm only the 1 because I'm also kind of playing Zombie World, so hedges a little bit for that, as well as Needle Sealing, which this deck plays very well into. Like I said before with Torrential, Wing Rhynos, Wild Heart, doesn't affect them. And then 2 Shadow Mirror, great against Fayu, any dark deck stuff. And extra deck is just 3 Chimera Tech. And all of these are just kind of, you know, placeholders. You're not playing any tuners. I mean, you're playing Brain Control, so maybe you could take a Gale or something, but yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Let's get into some games. Let's go ahead and get started, get into the first game. We're starting up. We go first. We draw Gear Tone for turn. We're gonna go ahead and set our Yada, set our bottomless and pass. Opponent starts out with an Upstart Goblin. We see they're also on heroes, although we don't see it yet. They just set a Yada and pass. And we're terraforming for another Gear Tone here. Set 1, prog Gear Tone. Then usually at this point, if Engineer sticks, I think we're pretty safe. I mean, at this point, you know, this would just pop the back row, so these are going to be a Bottle Trap, and it's or something chainable, and probably not something like Bottomless or Torrential if they would have used it. Go ahead and normal summon a Wild Heart. Try again for the Engineer to get the pop first, but it's Yada. Thankfully no Gores here. Go ahead and hit in for 3,000. And we pass it on to our opponent. Here comes Prisma. We're just going to go ahead and bottomless that. We're going to apply pressure, upstart, drawing a Hero Blast, and I've drawn a lot of playable monsters. They heavy us for some reason, I'm not sure. Because they know this is probably a Gear Town. Maybe they don't, but we get to proc Yada and Gear Town off of this heavy, so our opponent just goes super minus. We get the Gadgetron, and you know, that's 6,000 damage next turn. They're setting bluffs, but I don't know how you bluff into cards that don't care about trap cards. I was like, okay, battle phase attack. We'll take game 1. Alright. Opponent goes first this time, and they're seeing their engine now. And they're on heroes as well, so Hero Beat's kind of a tougher matchup for this deck. We actually opened not too bad. Go ahead, Thunder Dragon, get 2 more out of the deck. Go for a gold to get Skyscraper. Then we're going to go ahead and normal Stratos to get a Wild Hearts. We went through all of our hero cards already. I'm going to set Karma Cut and pass. And maybe I should have just let the Stratos get ran over here. Does play into Gemini Spark a bit, but might have been a slight misplay for me. Summon the Ocean and set 2. And I do not want that Ocean to resolve. I could crash with Wild Heart, but just smash and get out of the way. Skyscraper, not so great in the mirror match, I would say. But we do activate Black Garden with our Wild Heart, so it's a pretty nice play, forcing our opponent to set Honest. Gonna attack into it, and then we'll T-set a Wild Heart and a Yada. We go ahead and attack into our second Wild Heart. A Bouncy Honest, and then Special Cyber, which is interesting. I mean, we'll have a hard time getting over it. We're going to go ahead and terraform the Thunder Tech out, get the Gear Town. Yada, try to draw. Draw another Yada, of course. I think we're just going to wall up and try to wait to find the out for the Cyber Dragon. Our opponent Hero Blasts. And for some reason they don't destroy anything. They could have popped this token, but okay. We'll change Gemini Smart to our Garden. Taking out the Garden. Opponent will activate Future Fusion, revealing add 0. Never mind. Gaia, I suppose. And our opponent's on Wild Heart. Absolute chats. Switch Cyber Dragon attack to clear the token, but I'm not sure exactly why you do this. I guess it's exactly because they have Honest, but go ahead and get one of those Honest out of the way. Go ahead and Yadas. Dig a little deeper. Fossil Dino. And I was pretty sure my opponent had it at this point. Only switch the one Wild Heart to attack. I'm going to go ahead and set our Fossil Dino in pass. During the standby phase, our opponent will call the Ocean. They can proc Ocean, get back the Stratos. Thankfully, we don't have any back row, so they can't pop it with that. They go Stratos, search Captain Gold of their own. What are the chances? Captain Gold search Skyscraper. Funny. And they'll take out the Wild Heart, but Fossil Dino does take out Ocean and Cyber Dragon. Pass it to us. And we draw Mirror Force, which is pretty nice considering we'll have a Gaia coming down on us next turn. Proc Gear Town. We'll summon out our Gadgetron Dragon to attack over the Stratos, but it does get bottomless, unfortunately. I can't play around all the trap cards. We just set our Mirror Force and pass. Our opponent does play into our Mirror Force, so that's nice. And here's scary. They put an Ocean into play, and we thankfully draw a Brain Control so we could out it, but by tributing Thunder Dragon. We do set the Skyscraper in case they have like a Wild Heart or Ocean or something. That way they can't attack over the Thunder Dragon, but our opponent has an Alias anyway. And at this point, we're kind of getting out-grinded by things like Gemini Spark and Hero Blast. Emergency go for another Alias. Bottomless it. I'm not sure exactly what card we would be looking to draw here at this point. This is looking pretty rough for us. But we de-prisoned the second Alias, so you know, 2 Alias down, 1 to go. Draw a Karma Cut, no discard fodder yet. I'm going to apply some pressure and just go ahead and Hero Blast to add the Alias on the field. Draw a Chalice and pass. Try to attack with Alias again, and I'll try to Karma Cut to get rid of the third one, but they drew into the Gemini Spark, unfortunately for us. We have a Terraforming with 1 card to search, so I go ahead and just fire it. And they found a Roto, so any monster kind of kills us here. Alright, and on to game 3. We get to go first. We have Heavy Swarm, always nice to have against Hero Beat, although they have the Road. Start out with Captain Gold, get Skyscraper. We'll go ahead and Roto for Stratos. Stratos will add a Wild Heart. I think we'll just set a Dust and pass. We do have the Alias here, which clears our Stratos, but that's okay. In phase, they'll set 2, and we will Blind Dust. We do hit the Gemini Spark, so that's pretty good. I didn't heavy here with just the 1, plus I had a Wild Heart, so I didn't really feel a need to heavy to make a big play, which in retrospect, you know, it gets rid of the Road, but that in hindsight, I don't think it would have been the play to do anyway, unless you had to read that it was exactly Starlight Road. Opponent has the Stratos of their own. We go and search another alias. We'll attack into our Wild Heart, and we will de-prison to keep it on the field and apply pressure. Draw our Thunder Dragon, go ahead and thin our attack out. Hit for 15. And they do find another Gemini Spark, unfortunately for us. Our Wild Heart dies, and we got the Pro-Set Storm, but Pro-Set Storm doesn't do much against Starlight Road, unfortunately. But we do go ahead and brain control the Stardust to try to play through Gemini Spark. Terraforming for Gear Town. We'll set, proc our Gear Town. Summon Gadgetron. We'll attack him with the Stardust. This also plays around Honest, which our opponent does use to out the Stardust. And then they go ahead, while in the battle phase, their Gemini Spark. I don't know why now. I guess you could do that later, but that's fine. Maybe they're worried about a tribute. I don't know, really, I could tribute someone. Ocean off the top, it hits in, and we don't find a card that declared this Ocean, and it's not looking great for us on this game 3. Ocean gets the proc, getting Alias, and they're going to get in for a bunch of damage. And we lose the first game, unfortunately, in game 3. Hard to outgrind Gemini Spark, Hero Blast stuff with this deck. But let's go on to show some more gameplay. Let's go ahead and get into our second game. Starting off, we are going first, and we draw Regeki Break for turn. Regeki Break, yeah, you might see a couple different cards here and there as it tested out different cards. I did ended up changing the Regeki Breaks for Karma Cuts later. We'll go ahead and go first. Get rid of our Thunder Dragon to add 2 more. Then we're just going to go ahead and set Bottomless Yada and pass. Opponent up starts. And there you go with the set 3 pass. Draw Rhoda for turn. We're going to go ahead and get our hero engine online. Add Stratos. Let that go. We'll add our Captain Gold. We're going to go ahead and just deck thin here. Give her some damage and set a Regeki Break. Opponent activates Yada, searching for something they could play. Stratos just keeps getting in. We set another Yada. They upstart. They jar. Set a de-prison and pass again. And nothing's changed, so I just attack with Stratos again, and I'm fine with that, eating a de-prison here. We have pretty good card advantage over our opponent. Go ahead and activate our Gear Town, try to normal summon our Beast. Eat the Bottomless, and we'll just pass it here. Our opponent set the Dust Shoot. And no good Dust Shoot targets here, really. Let's send back a Thunder Dragon. So we discard a Thunder Dragon to add it back. Then we'll go ahead and set a Field Spell over our Gear Town. Switch summon Engineer. We're going to activate Black Garden. I'll play around Drag Course. Pop our opponent's back row, Starlight Road, and we'll pass it on. Go into Brain Control. They do hit us for 15 to get the Papa Garden, which they pop Yada, which is perfectly fine. And then we'll tree for Sirocco, that'll proc our Black Garden. And then we'll chain link 2, Bottomless, to get rid of that Sirocco. I'm gonna go ahead and Yada. Find Dust Shoot. Just gonna go ahead and set that pass. Dust Shoot our opponent. What kind of playable card they have here? I think Shura. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take our Shura. Draw our Regeki Break. Go ahead and pass. Opponent sets a Bottomless. Go to end phase Regeki Break. We found the Winged Rhynos. Attack and then damage step. We have Chalice. That's enough for lethal. On to game 2. Opponent goes first. Gonna go ahead and set 2 and just pass. We'll just set 1 bottomless. Their opponent playing kind of conservative here. In face the wheel, dust the bottomless. Perhaps I should have summoned this consecrated. Because now they have a Whirlwind Shura. This is not good for us. We'll normal summon to bring Rhynos. We're going to go ahead and set the yard and pass. They do hit our Shadow Mirror. We know that they have Colute, so we're just going to try to de-prison that. And thinking maybe something like a Icarus in response, but our opponent does have Solemn, so unfortunately that does kind of stop us there. They Colute over our Rhino. Bring out Gale. Hit for 13. Try to bottomless this Armor Master. It does go through, thankfully. Here we do summon the Consecrated, a bit late as it may be. And we'll just kind of pass it here. Opponent goes for the Cyber Dragon to try to out this Consecrated. But we're going to go ahead and Regeki Break. Drawing Thunder Dragon, a little late, but nevertheless. Opponent looking for outs. Can't quite find it yet. We'll find a Gear Town. We're going to go ahead and Terraforming to add another Gear Town. Set once, set another. Gear Town effect. We're going to bring out Engineer, try to poke through this back row, but our opponent does have Torrential. Very unfortunate for us. Whirlwind at the Blizzard. Opponent does Upstart here. Coming for a Gear Town. Set. Gear Town effects. Go summon the Gadgetron. Dust Stick, and if our opponent has another Colute in their hand, this still plays around it, so that's nice. That's all we can do. They go Blizzard Shura, Brain Control, and I mean the Brain Control is pretty much enough already. On to game 3. We start off. We have a really good hand. We have Thunder Dragon, Stratos, and Dust Shoot. I mean, just those 3 alone was really great starting for us. Go ahead and thin the deck. We're going to go ahead and set Dust Shoot, set Prison, set Typhoon, and pass. So to go ahead and take out the Dark Arm. Opponent sets 1 Dust and pass. Attributed for Engineer here. It might not have been the right move to do that. Our opponent does try to dust one of our back row though. They hit deeper than. We're going to activate Garden, go into battle phase, and hit for 15. And Garden Engineer just kind of breaks people's brains sometimes. So get a token from Garden. Special Gale. They're going for a Black Rose play here. They do. That does clear what we have. Draw Dust, so even though we have 4 cards, none of them not really doing a lot right here, unfortunately. Just set the Dust and pass. Kind of holding this out for maybe a potential Oppression or Black Whirlwind. Go ahead and finally find Terraforming to get Gear Town. Set Gear Town, set Skyscraper, get our Gadgetron out. And we're going to start applying that pressure. We're going to hit for 3,000. They got it, but they do not find a Gorz. Although they do find Brain Control once more. They set Morphing Jar, set Solemn, set Brain, set Whirlwind, set everything and pass. We hit in because I don't know who expects Morphing Jar and Blackwing, but That's okay, we still plus from it as well. Need to, we'll Rhoda for Wild Heart. We'll go ahead and set Torrential, Prison, pass. Do a brain control, and they do get in for some free damage, which is fine. We were at a healthy 8,000. Here comes Whirlwind Tribute for Sirocco. We will try to Torrential. Here comes a Solemn, but opponent looking really low, and they just use the one card that's going to save them from Heavy Storm at this point. We end phase Dust, try to snipe a Starlight Road. It's a Prison. And I decide, yeah, Wild Heart Smash. I mean, that's pretty much game right there. So we do take game 3. So pretty good game from the deck. You can see some of its strengths and weaknesses. Weaknesses being like if your opponent has a monster you can't really deal with or that's reoccurable, your deck can have a tough time. But I think we might have one more game for you. Starting off in game 3. Alright, we're going first, and we draw a Wild Heart for turn. We're going ahead and just T-set a D-Prison and a Wild Heart. Opponent goes Rhoda for Stratos. They will add in Infernal Prodigy. I believe this looks like a Welladad maybe, or some form of it. They do attack in, we're decided to go ahead and D-Prison. Just get rid of that Stratos. Put the deck in. Thunder Dragon to add 2. We're just going to hit him for 15. Probably should have set 2 here, but as you see we do get punished by the heavy. Then Prodigy. Into Mally. I expected Gaius. And Teleport comes out. And into Thought Ruler, so they're going to gain back that life points that they already lost. So looking really rough for my misplay here, setting 2 cards. Top deck Brain Control, but not going to do much against our boy Thought Ruler here. And add our Skyscraper just to deck in a little bit, and hope he don't die next turn. They do have Spirit Reaper, so I'm hoping they kind of rip maybe like a Thunder Dragon. And they rip Brain Control, of course. Top deck Heavy Storm, but yeah, just nothing we could do here. Should have misplayed by setting 2 Battle Traps. We'll go first again, seeing the Regeki break again. I'm gonna go ahead and just set Prison Pass. I'm gonna throw it for Stratos once more. Add some Malicious. Attacks in, we decide to go ahead and D-Prison. We'll go ahead and just thin the deck out for a Gear Town. Normal Summon our Engineer and hit in. Still in battle phase, we'll Typhoon our Gear Town to bring out our Gadgetron. We're just going to start playing aggressive. Seeing we don't have a lot going on, and then we have Heavy Storm and 2 monsters that are likely to stick, so we can Regeki break their play next turn. Then I think we can, just kind of stay in, but they do have Typhoon Smashing. Good removal cards. And then Normal Summon Mizuki to go into our Engineer. We have Terraforming for Gear Town. I'm going to go ahead and just burn the heavy here, bring out our Gadgetron. Keep applying that pressure, hit him for 13. Set our Chalice to pass. Opponent draws Gardna. I think they just try to wall up with the Crabons here. We do attack, and they'll use the effect to pay 8. And then we will chain Chalice, targeting Crabons. And this puts them at 1600, which is exactly 1400 for game for lethal. So Chalice kind of showing what's earned its spot in the deck. On to game 3. Opponent starts off. They're going to go for just a set Goblin Zombie. Seeing some side deck cards now. We're going to summon Stratos. Add gold. Gold adds Skyscraper. We're going to go ahead and hit in. The little Goblin Zombie effects. Add Plug Spreader. Then we're just going to set Torrential on pass. They have a Stratos of their own, adding Malicious. They just crashed, and I think this is fine. End up setting a mind control as a bluff and passing. We're going to Typhoon this. We want this Dyna to walk. We'll hit in for 12. Me too. Set D-Prison and pass. Then we had Torrential and D-Prison sets. Comes a Greffer. Effect. Try to hit in and move a prison. Next turn, we're going to activate Gear Town and just normal summon our Ancient Gear Beast, since this allows it to summon Ancient Gears with 1 less tribute, so it makes it none. Hit in for some good damage. Our opponent kind of has to answer what we have here, with Brain Control and the Gear Beast. Out to our Dyna. A2, they normal summon a Plague to try to make a Synchro. And I'm thinking here, and I do Torrential this. They Plague effect. And then Melee effect. And they do go for Colossal Fighter. I'm not sure exactly why. I guess because of Gadgetron Dragon is what they're scared of the most. But they really should be scared of is our friend Brain Control here, which is Colossal Fighter is lethal, and we still game 3 with Brain Control, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. So we're at the end of the video, and thoughts about the deck. I would want to say that it does have a hard time kind of grinding out some things like Hero Beat, as we saw, and it does have problems with kind of breaking, like if you just have a handful of Thunder Dragons and Skyscraper and Yada or Comber Cut with no discards, even Chalice, you know, you kind of need something to go with it. It can kind of not do anything, but you know, when the engines are flowing all together, it feels pretty nice, and I think it's a pretty fun deck overall. But you guys let me know what you think. Am I playing it all wrong? Should I just not be playing Wing Rhynos unless I have Accumulated Fortune and all the other teched out cards to go with this? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you all for watching.